Good morning. Today we're going to multiply decimals and multiply money. We're going to use that to follow multi-steps in solving some real-life math situations. Let's begin with the multiplication of decimals. I have told you several times in the past when we added and subtracted decimals to make sure you lined up your decimal points in the problem. You do not need to do that in multiplication. Okay, so you pretty much just want to list your numbers. We've got $2.35. Right below there, we've got 20 hundredths that we're multiplying it by, or 20 cents. And we're going to start right over here and start with this number. We'll multiply by each of the numbers above him. So 0 times 5 is 0, 0 times 3 is 0, and 0 times 2 is 0. Those numbers are listed below, moving right to left. Next, I need to hold this spot right here as a reminder that I do not want any numbers in there. You can either put a 0 there or an X, because when I use my next number, the 2, and multiply the 2 by the numbers above him, I want to begin writing my answer down here. 2 times 5 is 10. I put the 0 down, carry the 1. That little 1 is going to be added on, because now I'm going to multiply 2 times 3, go right above him, add that 1. So 2 times 3 is 6, add the 1 makes 7. I put my 7 down here as I'm moving from right to left. 2 times 2 is 4. Again, my answer goes over here. Now that I have my numbers listed here, I want to add them. Okay, we're adding just the two sets of numbers that I've just created. So 0 plus nothing is 0. 0 plus 0 is 0. 0 plus 7 is 7. And 4 plus nothing is 4. Now the trick is here, where do I put my decimal? You need to count by starting from the right side to the left side. You need to count how many numbers or spaces are in your problem. I would move over from right to left. 1, 2, and keep counting. 3, 4, until I reach that decimal. So now I come down to my answer and count over 4 places. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's where my decimal goes. My answer, now that we're dealing with money, we only need the first 2 numbers, because the first 2 numbers to the right of the decimal, because that's what happens, or that's what you need when you're talking about money and change. So my answer is actually 47 cents. You can round it. The 0 tells us to keep the 7 as a 7. Let's practice again. I've got $25.23 times 10 hundredths, or 10 cents. Same as before, I start all the way over here to the right. All right, my number is circled 0, and I multiply 0 times 3, put the answer down below, 0 times 2, moving from right to left, 0 times the 5, gets a turn, 0 is the answer, and 0 times the 2, that's way over here, and my answer is 0. Now it's the 1's turn. It's going to start here to the right. We start from the right and work left. 1 times 3 is 3. I put my answer here because, oops, that's right. I held this spot with an X or a 0 because I want to start putting my numbers right here. 2 times 1 is 2. I put my answer here, moving right to left. 1 times 5 is 5. And 1 times 2 is 2. Now that I've got my numbers here, I'm going to add them. 0 plus my blank spot is 0. 3 plus 0 is 3. 2 plus 0 is 2. 5 plus 0 is 5. And 2 plus nothing is 2. Now I need to go back and find out where my decimal goes. Starting from the right side, I'm going to count how many places. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to do that down here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's where my decimal goes. Again, it's money, so we can cut it off right here and round it. The answer would be $2.52 because the 3 does not round up my 2. There's my answer, $2.52. Now let's use what you've learned and apply it to a real-life situation. There's a reason I have this picture. Let me tell you why I have it. If you eat at a restaurant and you want to give a tip to the waiter or waitress, this is beneficial in calculating the tip money. This is how you find out how much money you need to give. Let's say you're giving a 20% tip. You're going to change your decimal, you're going to change your percent to a decimal. This is your decimal, your percent. Change your percent to a decimal by dividing. So my 20% is divided by 100. A little trick I use is, since you're dividing by 100, you're going to move over 2 places. 1, 2. All right, I'll show you that on the next slide. Then you take your total bill of how much you have to pay times that decimal, and that makes your total tip. Let's try it. So here you are. You eat at a pizza restaurant for lunch with your friend. The total bill is $13. You decide to leave a 20% tip for your friendly waiter. How much money do you leave the waiter for a tip? All right, here are my directions again at this top box if we need to refer to it. But step 1 is you take your percent and change it to a decimal. You're going to divide. So 20 is my percent divided by 100. So you can see I used my head and just move over 2 places. 1, 2. There's 2 zeros, 1, 2. Dividing, I'm moving to the left. It's 20 hundredths. I'm going to put that answer over here. And now I'm going to calculate $13 times that 20 hundredths and see what my total tip is going to be. If you remember, I'm going to start right here with this number, multiply 0 times the 0, 0 times the other 0, 0 times 3, and 0 times 1. And as I'm doing it, I'm filling them in from right to left below. I'm going to put an X here to hold my spot because I don't want to put a number there because now I'm moving here. 2 times 0 is 0. 2 times 0 is 0 again. 2 times 3 is 6. And 2 times 1 is 2. Next step is to add my numbers and find an answer below. Go ahead and add them all up and decide where you think your decimal should go. If I add it, my column's down. Okay, there's my answer. Check and see if you got that. Now I'm going to count over how many places. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to put my decimal over 4 places. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. Let's round it, because we are dealing with money, to $2.60. See how it would end right here, because this 0 is going to tell that 0 to stay the same. Next, let's use what you learned and apply it to another real-life situation. If you go shopping and you see the big sign on the wall that says discounts, how much money are you really saving? Here we go. Let's look at the situation. Your favorite Air Jordan sneakers are on discount. The price of the sneakers is $89.99. The sign on the wall reads, all Air Jordan sneakers 30% discount. So how much money are you saving with this discount? Let's calculate it. Here's the word problem that I just read up here. And here is a reminder of how to solve it. Okay, we're going to change our percent, which was 30, and divide it by 100. I'm going to move my decimal over 2 places. And that gives me 30 hundredths. Now I can add that down here to my multiplication problem because I'm going to take my total price of $82.99 and multiply by 30 hundredths, or 30 cents. Beginning here, my zeros where I start to multiply. 0 times 9 is 0. 0 times 9 again is another 0. 0 times 2 is 0, and 0 times 8 is 0. It's always handy when that's there, right guys? I want to put a holding spot right here. I'm going to put an X there to remind myself not to put a number there. 9 times 3 is 27. I put the 7 down, and I carry the 2, so it can be ready to add on the next time. 9 times 3 is 27, plus the 2 that I carried over makes 29. There's my 2. 3 times 2 is 6, plus the 2 I carried makes 8, and 3 times 8 makes 24. Again, we move from right to left. Now we are going to add. Go ahead and take a minute and add this up and decide where you think your decimal should go. 0 plus 0, 7 plus 0, 9 plus 0, 8 plus 0, and 4 plus nothing, and 2 plus nothing. Count over how many places your decimal is going to go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Going down to the problem. 1, my answer. 2, 3, 4. Right there is where my decimal belongs. Now I can see that I'm going to save, well, let's round it now. I want to keep it in the money, so I got $24. It says 89 cents, but I've got a 7 there. It's going to tell me to bump it up, so it's $24.90. If you want to, there is the answer to your discount, but if you want to find out how much money you pay, take your total of $82.99, subtract the discount of $24.90 that you saved, woohoo, and now you pay $58.09. You finished the Zaption lesson. Congratulations. Give your teacher a green check so they know you're done, and be ready to practice with Mrs. Moyer.